Hey guys, I'm Casey Kane, and you're watching Slide Job Dom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to St. Louis, Missouri, home of the Gateway Arch for the 2025 Stop-Motion Gateway Dirt Nationals. For tonight's event, we have 25 competitors in total, 10 Northeast Modifieds, and 15 Super Late Models to compete for those 30K and 10K cash prizes, some of the best on the planet. Now let's go ahead and take a look at today's event facts. This is a 1/5 temporary dirt track held inside the Dome in St. Louis, which used to be used by the St. Louis Rams, now known as the Los Angeles Rams. It's a 3-day event. The first inaugural race was held in 2016 and has had 5 separate winners for the late model features. The late great Scott Bloomquist went on to win that inaugural event, a $30,000 cash prize, and for the first time in Gateway Dirt Nationals history, we'll be having a big block modified features, so this is gonna be interesting. With our modified main about to kick off, this will be a good time to go over both preliminary night recaps. So without further ado, here is night 1. To start off, things were going great for Bobby Pierce in that 32 until he made contact on the wall of turns 3 and 4, losing that first place spot. Later on in the feature, contact was made with Jason Eddy in that 119, sending Brian Bernheisel straight into the wall, almost sending him upside down. While trying to avoid the incident, Tommy Bailey in that 11 car took a nasty hit on the inside barrier, causing significant damage to the front of that car. Fortunately, all drivers were alright. With 3 laps to go, Brandon Shepard in that B5 was pretty much untouchable from there on out. He had a really good restart and went on to win that night, with Bobby Pierce coming in second and Tyler Carpenter coming in third. This win would guarantee him a spot on the front row as he starts on the pole of tonight's feature. For night number 2, there was a really good battle between Devin Moran and Turbo for the lead until Jonathan Davenport got taken out by Bronson going in a little too hot in the turns 3 and 4. This understandably pissed off Davenport as a few words were exchanged after this incident. The tempers were pretty high. With Bronson and Davenport restarting at the tail, Tyler Erb pulls an early slide job on Devin Moran for that first place spot. On lap 5, contact was made, but fortunately Turbo was able to regain his momentum and held that lead, as Mike Marlar in that 157 went on to take that second place spot from Moran. With 3 laps to go, more misfortune struck that Bernheisel team as Jim Bernheisel went around, collecting Craig Hargreaves. Unfortunately, this resulted in a DNQ, a very rough few nights for those laser chassis. On the restart, Devin Moran slams the door on Marlar into turns 1 and 2 and is able to find some momentum on the inside and pulls a not so clear slider on Turbo. This move would ultimately get Moran the win, with Marlar coming in second and Turbo in third. Some retaliation by Turbo after the race, as he was pretty pissed. This spot gives a first row start for Devin Moran as he starts on the outside of row 1 on tonight's feature. There is Tyler Erb and his crew getting his car ready for tonight's feature, and he is out for revenge, as he's told our interviewers. See, right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what you paid your money for. The Gateway Dirt Nationals never disappoints. There's always storylines and tons of conflict. This is gonna be interesting. The modifieds are heading onto the track right now. These big blocks, also known as Northeast modifieds, are primarily ran over the Northeast, but tonight they're in the Midwest to compete for that 10K cash prize. As we said earlier, this is a first in Gateway Dirt Nationals history. We usually run regular modifieds, but this year we decided to switch it up and we'll just see how it goes. A few drivers to look out for is that 8H of Max McLaughlin starting on the pole, and also can't forget about Matt Williamson in that Lou Lazaro throwback scheme. Starting on the inside of row 2, he had a really good preliminary night on Friday, placing second in that feature, so I'd keep my eyes on that number 4. Now, with all of our drivers lined up, here is your starting lineup. We got Jeff Taylor rounding out the field in the 11D and Tommy Meyer in the 33. In row 4, we got Mark Johnson in the 3J and the legendary Brett Hearn on his inside. In row 3, we got Tyler Boniface in the 69 and Kenny Tremont in the 115. In row 2, Danny Creedon in the 16X and Matt Williamson in the 4. And on the front row, we got Anthony Perego in the 44 and Max McLaughlin on the pole in the 8H. Lights are out, 10 big block modifieds are ready to duke it out at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. We are green! McLaughlin and Perego side by side down the front stretch. It looks like McLaughlin has the advantage on the inside. Perego to the outside, gets a little bit too high, loses that second place spot. Williamson now in that second place spot as he pulls a slider on Perego, and watch out, Kenny Tremont all the way up to third, giving Williamson a run for his money. Kenny Tremont trying something on the inside, but just can't work it out. Looks like Williamson has a really good run on the top. With 2 more to go, McLaughlin still with a pretty good lead, and Williamson switching now to the inside. Max McLaughlin running the bottom really well as the white flag waves, lap traffic up ahead. Looks like he's going to go take the outside, taps the bumper off the wall. Down the back stretch into turns 3 and 4, a truly dominant performance. Your 2025 champion, Max McLaughlin. Williamson second, Perego third, Tremont fourth, and Hearn fifth. Matt Williamson was having some really good speed. He started getting some momentum on that final lap, but just could not catch up to that 8H. There he goes right there, pulling into the front stretch to celebrate with his team. Like I said, a dominant performance in that 8H, starting on the pole and keeping the lead for the entire race. Everyone give it up for your 2025 Gateway Dirt Nationals champion in the Big Block Modified feature, Max McLaughlin. Now let's go ahead and look at some race results. Of course, we got Max McLaughlin in the first spot, then we have Williamson down behind him, up 1 spot, and then we have Perego down a spot, Kenny Tremont up 1, Brett Hearn up 2, Tommy Meyer up 3, Danny Creedon down 3, Boniface down 2, Mark Johnson down by 1, and Jeff Taylor breaking even at 0, finishing in the final spot. With the Big Block Modified feature out of the way, our super late models are about ready to go onto the track for driver introductions, as the crew members are also making their way onto the track. 15 super late models for tonight's 10-lap feature, some of the best dirt track racers in the country. Even a few underdogs in there as well, this is gonna be a good one. With 3 two-time champions and 1 one-time champion in this feature, will another win be added onto the list, or will we get a new winner? Ladies and gentlemen, make your pick as we go over the 2025 starting lineup. Starting at the tail out of Ashland, Ohio, we got Ryan Markham in the 5M. On the outside of row 7 in the Laser Chassis 119, we got Brian Bernheisel, and to his inside the 68 of Adam Stricker. In row 6, we got Brandon Overton in the 76, and the 2015 World of Outlaws champion Shane Clanton. On the outside of row 5, out of Brandon, Florida, we got Kyle Bronson in the 40B, and to his inside, Superman Jonathan Davenport. On the outside of row 4, the Reaper Ryan Gustin in the 19R, and to his inside in the Viper Motorsports number 96, we got Tanner English. In row 3, out of New Waverly, Texas, in the Gravedigger Tribute number 1, it is Turbo Tyler Erb, and to his inside the 157 of Mike Marlar. On the outside of row 2, the 2-time Gateway Dirt Nationals champion, the Kamikaze Kid Tyler Carpenter. To his inside, another 2-time champion out of Oakwood, Illinois, in the Talladega Nights Tribute 32, the smooth operator Bobby Pierce. And for row 1 on the outside, we got Devin Moran, the mailman, in the 99. And to his inside, the 5-time World of Outlaws and 2-time Gateway Dirt Nationals champion B-Shep Brandon Shepard. With the feature just minutes away, let's go over a few drivers to keep your eyes on. Brandon Overton out of Evans, Georgia, in the Napa Auto Parts 76 is the only driver tonight to not make it in a preliminary feature. He had some engine problems last night and unfortunately couldn't make it to the feature, but tonight he was able to fight his way through the preliminaries and found himself a spot in tonight's feature. So I'd keep my eyes on that 76. On the hunt for his first ever Gateway Dirt Nationals title, Devin Moran in the 99 had a stellar night yesterday, clinching a spot in the first row. His tactics at the end of the feature caused some drama, you could say, so I'd expect some really good aggressive racing by that 99 tonight. And last but not least, of course, we can't forget about Tyler Urban, the one. He got into some drama last night with the 99 to Devin Moran after he pulled that not-so-clear slider on him, knocking him back to third. He's already told us that he will get payback. Tyler is not one to take disrespect too lightly. I just have a feeling something is going to happen tonight. Out of everyone, I would definitely keep my eyes on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for what you've been waiting for. Our late models are getting all fired up and ready for the 2025 Stop Motion Gateway Dirt Nationals. Lights are out, 10 laps, 15 super late models, the best of the best. Who is going to take home that $30,000 cash prize? Is it going to be B-Shep? Is it going to be Moran? Or will it be an underdog? There's only one way to find out. As they go down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4, we are green at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Incoming slider by B-Shep into turns 1 and 2 takes the lead. Aggressive start by Brandon Shepard rips the top on turns 3 and 4, takes lap number 2. Moran trying something on the inside, and watch out, the kamikaze kid Tyler Carpenter going after that second place spot. Carpenter right behind Shepard as they both rip the top, and it looks like he took that second place spot into lap number 3. Carpenter now taking the middle, looks like he's switching to the inside now, dives down low, a piss missile by Carpenter takes the lead. And watch out, we got a pile up into turn 2, 3 cars involved. Markham smashes into the side of Stricker. That looks like it, yeah, that's Clanton on the outside. Not sure what happened there, we'll have to look back at the replay. Red flag is out though. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. It looks like Clanton maybe went into turn 2 a little hot there. Looks like the wheels locked up as well. Just spun it around, and there's Stricker getting into the side of him, then collects Ryan Markham with him as well. That final impact right there did the most damage to Ryan Markham's 5M. It has heavy damage to the front of that car. Here it is again at full speed, and yeah, just slams into the side of him. Had nowhere to go, there wasn't much he could have done. Maybe if he spun the car around to his side to make contact with that, maybe it could have had a different outcome, but it's just too late. Fortunately, Ryan is alright. He's out of the car waving to the fans, but it looks like Stricker and Clanton are going to stay out there. Not much damage was dealt to those cars. Actually, now looking at it, it looks like there's something wrong with Ryan Gustin's 19R. The hood specifically, the crew member's trying to fix something on it right there. We'll try to get more information with our reporters down there, but let's hope it's nothing too serious and they can fix it. Tow truck pulling onto the track right now as it looks like Ryan Markham's 5M is going to have to get towed into the work area, not in drivable condition. Carpenter moving over quickly so they can take that 5M into the work area. There they go right there, and as they do, our late models are getting fired back up and ready for the restart. Thankfully, whatever problems with the 19R have been solved. He's still on the track, so it looks like Ryan Gustin is ready to go. We're just 6 laps away from finding out who will be crowned 2025 champion. We are back underway at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Bit of a slow start for Carpenter, but still able to keep some good speed. He looks like he taps the wall off of turn 4, and we got one into the wall on turns 1 and 2. Overton spins as he collects Davenport and Stricker. Not sure what happened there, but Davenport just slammed into him, spinning him around. A very violent wreck. Field coming to a stop. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. Looks like, oh yeah, he went in way too hot into turn 1 and just slammed right into the wall. That's when Davenport came in, slammed into the side of him, just spun him around completely. You can also see Stricker right here involved in another incident, sliding up there, making contact with the wall, trying to avoid it, and can imagine he has a lot more damage to that 68 now. Tough break for that 76. As we went over earlier, he's been having a terrible week. From his engine problems to fighting all the way from preliminaries to find himself a spot in tonight's feature to this. Very unfortunate. Luckily, all drivers involved are a-okay, as you can see Brandon doing a quick interview right there, and funny enough, it looks like Stricker is staying out there. How? I have no clue. From what we see up here, there is a good amount of damage to it, especially in the back from him trying to avoid this incident, but hey, if it runs, it runs. There goes Overton driving the car into the work area. Like I said, a very tough break for that Napa Auto Parts 76. We are underway once again at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. Brandon Sheppard doing what he's been doing all night, ripping the top. While you look back to the inside, Tyler Carpenter, it looks like he's going to go in for a slider. It just does not stick. Sheppard moves down to the bottom, giving space for Carpenter to dive bomb, but he does not. Still has good momentum on the inside. I think he's going to go in for another slide. No, he does not. Carpenter inching closer and closer, goes full speed into turns 1 and 2, is able to pull off the slider for the lead. Sheppard moves down to the bottom into turns 3 and 4, and we got one around in turn 3. Gustin slams into the side of Devin Moran. Moran making contact with the inside barrier, collecting Ryan Gustin. I think he may have gotten chopped by Tyler Erb. Gonna have to go look back at the replay, but I think Tyler Erb just got his get back. Can't necessarily say we're surprised by this, but let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. So they were both battling for that third place spot, and yeah, he chopped down on him. There he goes, making contact with the inside barrier. Then here comes Ryan Gustin just plowing into the side of that 99. Fortunately, no one else was collected, although there is a ton of damage to both of these cars, especially the front of that 19R. Let's go ahead and take a look at it at full speed. Yeah, the initial hit really wasn't that bad. It's the contact made with Ryan Gustin that completely did it for both of them. Devin Moran is frustrated to say the least, doing an interview right now, throwing shots at Turbo. Something's definitely going to go down. In the meanwhile, Ryan Gustin's crew's trying to fix that car up, but I don't think there's much they can do. Unfortunately, I think both Moran and Gustin are out of this race. How about Tyler Carpenter, though, having a hell of a night, throwing sliders left and right? Oh, that rhymed. With just 4 laps to go, I think I'm going to have to go with that 28. He's just been unstoppable all night. Unfortunately, it does look like Gustin and Moran are out of contention. To see that 19R getting drove off into the work area. 99's also getting hooked up onto the tow truck, and there he goes right there. Very tough break for both of those teams. Looks like Devin Moran has a few things to say or show, flipping off that one as he goes past him. Oh boy, do you gotta love the Gateway Dirt Nationals. We are back under green with Tyler Carpenter leading the pack with 4 laps to go. Takes the top on turns 1 and 2, and watch out, Tyler Erb to the outside of Sheppard. They make contact right there. Sheppard dive bombs and then make contact right there. Erb drops back a spot but is able to regain some momentum. Goes into turns 1 and 2. Looks like Bobby Pierce takes that 3rd place spot. Kamikaze Kid rips the top and hold up, makes contact with the wall, loses that 1st place spot. They are side by side down the front stretch. 2 laps to go. Sheppard with a slider. Carpenter moves down to the bottom. White flag is approaching. I think Tyler's going to go in for a piss missile, and it sticks. He takes the lead. White flag is waving. Lap traffic is in Tyler's favor. Goes down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. The Kamikaze Kid does it again. Your 2025 champion, Tyler Carpenter. Sheppard 2nd, Erb 3rd, Pierce 4th, and English 5th. This crowd is on their feet. Fan favorite Tyler Carpenter claims his 3rd Gateway Dirt Nationals title. Let's go ahead and take a look at the final 2 laps. So you got Sheppard's slider right here, which I feel that if he hadn't slid up so much, he could have prevented this next slider, which pretty much did it for him. Right here, Carpenter's slider, this is the move that did it right here, won him the race. Lap traffic becoming a factor here, leaving no room for Sheppard to pull a slider, nothing like that. Forced him to rip the top, and yeah, goes around turns 3 and 4, and the rest is history. B-Shep pulling onto the front stretch, same as Tyler Erb. There he is right there. Pretty sure these two are going to have a conversation. If you guys remember, Sheppard's dive bomb on lap 6. I don't think he was too happy about that. Tyler Carpenter pulls into victory lane and celebrates his 3rd Gateway Dirt Nationals title. Everyone give it up for your 2025 Stop Motion Gateway Dirt Nationals champion, Tyler Carpenter. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our race results. So of course in first place we got Tyler Carpenter up 3, Brandon Sheppard down 1, Tyler Erb up 3, Bobby Pierce down 1, Tanner English up 2, Mike Marlar down 1, Kyle Bronson up 3, Brian Bernheisel up 6, Davenport breaking even, Shane Clanton up 1, Adam Stricker up 2, and Devin Moran, Ryan Gustin, Brandon Overton, and Ryan Markham all finishing with DNFs. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in for the first annual Stop Motion Gateway Dirt Nationals. We'll see you guys next year for the second running of this cool event that I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Sly Job Dom, signing out.